Hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm just gonna make hopefully a little short video on something I thought was kind of interesting. So I've been watching a little bit of Channel Fireball and watching some of their modern content, and I came across an interesting deck, namely because it's very similar to what I am running currently in modern, and it did well enough to win a modern challenge. So Gabe was talking about this deck and playing it for about you know in the league and was doing okay and um, just the deck looked interesting because it's very similar to the deck I'm running, and the ratios and some card selection were interesting, and some thought process. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it and kind of compare decks. I know I've talked about how I personally like black in my deck, but obviously the mana base is a lot more punishing and stuff like that. But I guess if you were opt to play just a pure Azorius version of the deck, this is something you can look into, and something very similar to what my deck is, and um, kind of does basically the same thing, but a little bit more. Um, I guess I wouldn't say narrow, but more less flexible in some of them. It's more consistent, but like less flexible, just namely because you have less colors. So, but I mean it's cool, and I mean I want to talk about it because namely of like one card you haven't seen in the meta a lot lately that's kind of slowly making its comeback, which is kind of nice. So yeah, let's just go into the deck list and see what's up. So yeah, it's just an Azorius control. And yeah, just looking at the mana base here, um, if you don't really know how this Azorius deck works, I'll just explain it really quickly. So, the breeding pool and the trinome here will give you your fourth color, and that's mainly used for prismatic ending, and they're searchable by all your fetch lands. Breeding pool also allows you to play some green cards if you need to. Breeding pool is always going to be searchable, considering I think he's playing. I think it should be eight. Yeah, I think it was eight or nine um fetch land. So you're always gonna be able to fetch the breeding pool or the trinome. Same idea as me. That's why I play just the one trinome. Because I play eight fetch lands to fix my colors. So you're always gonna have that available. And if you stare over here at the um side deck, you see he's playing Veil. Yeah, so Veil is also another interesting card to play. It's great against the mirror match and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool tech there. Um, yeah, Castle Vantress are pretty good. I personally don't like Castle Vantress too much because I feel like spending 5 mana to scry 2 is not the best use of my mana. Yeah, it makes it so that in late game you're grinding out. You guys are both top decking. If you have Castle Vantress, you're obviously gonna top deck better. But Castle Vantress only really works if you're playing just two colors in your main deck. I'm playing three colors, so it's a little bit harder to squeeze this in. And I found myself not caring for it too much, so I didn't play Castle Vantress. We're also, yeah, we're both playing one Celestial Coronet each, and both one Hall. You play one of each just because the flexibility and the mana requirement. Celestial is definitely a lot easier to use, but Hall can close out the game a lot faster. You can kill someone in 3 hits, versus Celestial you take like 5 hits to kill them. So you need to, those. It's 5 turns versus 3 turns. So, or if you have enough mana, you can activate both somehow. But namely, yeah, one's got flying, one's big, hard to remove. They both have their different purposes, which is nice. Yeah, two hollow, nothing too new here. Three island, nothing new there. Because they're not playing the other ones. I think he's just playing one Delta, one Tarn, and then two Misties. Yep, and four polluted. Pretty normal there. Three gates. I thought about bumping up my gates, honestly, in my own personal deck. I might add another Mystic Gate in when I get the chance to, but haven't picked up another gates. They're kind of expensive, so for what they are. So I'm waiting for them to drop a little bit maybe before I pick up another gate or so. Um, yeah, Aurora here. I thought about this card too. Um, I think it's a good card. It's definitely a great card. It's just expensive to use. 4 mana is a lot. Um, and I found myself, if I have 4 mana open, I think I'd rather have um Cryptic Command over using this. Because Cryptic Command is also a counter spell and it's a little bit more flexible. Well, Aura it just kind of returns the card. Yeah, it can hit like basically anything. It can hit land too if you. It doesn't say non-land on it, which is kind of interesting. So it can hit certain like artifact lands or enchantment lands. Um, and it's great against other Teferi decks. Mainly because it's an ability. You're not really casting the card, so it can remove a Teferi already. But I think because of my mana base, I can't afford to really play it. Um, so I need my whites source, and since I'm splitting a little bit of my white and a little bit of my black, don't think I can really afford to play this in my deck. Plains not that great, obviously. You just need the one plains just to get these off if you're under Blood Moon, really. As long as you can get you have one plains, you should be able to outer worldly light, or you should be able to prismatic ending the Blood Moon. So that's the idea of the plains here. Um, and yeah, well, we're also playing the same amount of lands. We're both playing 24 lands, which is kind of pretty funny. So opt here. So this is always debatable. Whenever I go to a local or even on my own YouTube channel, I'm always asked, why do you play opt over consider? Well, I don't think Gabe really explains it in this particular video. I'll probably link the video down below, to credit the video and discussion if you want to watch it for yourself. And now this video is a little old. It's about 2 to 3 weeks ago, so it's not the most current thing, but I think it's still pretty relevant. A different version of the way the deck is built. So yeah, he's playing 4 opt, and even if you look down in the comment section here, there are a little bit of people talking about why you choose consider over even right here. See, it says why do you consider over and opt. And you can see some of the replies, and I explained it in my own personal video and people at my own locals. It's because, namely, I don't want to reveal information for one. I don't want to dump like a Teferi to the grave. I don't want to dump a counterspell to the grave. I want to opt and then just get the card I need, get the land I need, without really revealing any information. And I also don't want to dump my one ofs, or like my win cons. You're only playing 2 Teferi, you're a Domina, you're only playing X amount of like solitudes, and for me I'm playing Dam, stuff like that. Like, so I don't want to really dump that to the graveyard. The argument for consider is like if you dump it to the graveyard, you can use it with Snapcaster. Yes, that's a valid argument, but you're gonna play the game enough, and you're gonna have targets for Snapcaster. So I mean, Op itself is a target for Snapcasters. The moment you cast Op, you already have something in the grave for Snapcasters. So dumping like a spell, like dumping an Archmage Charm off of Consider is not really that worthwhile. Yes, it makes it more accessible. Yes, it makes Snapcaster a little bit more live. Um, but in the end, it's very minuscule. It's not very um game breaking or whatever. You're not looking to cast Murktide or anything like that, so you don't really need to fill up your graveyard. So that's why I opt to not right, I opt not to play consider and play opt over consider. So that's just my thought process, and it looks like the deck creator here also um it looks like it's Waffle Tapas. So I know he's a pretty really decent Magic Online player. I don't think I've seen him play before. But yeah, so yeah, 4 ops. Now here this is very similar to me also. I'm doing 4 prismatic ending, and I'm doing 2 outer worldly lights. It looks like he's doing 3-3 split, which is pretty good. I just think outer worldly it works really well with Snapcaster for sure. Like you can snap back an Worldly during your opponent's turn and remove something if you have the mana. I guess my thought process is the World is a little expensive, pretty expensive. But I mean, honestly, I guess doing a 3-3 split doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, Worldly for me is like even removing a 2 mana card sometimes with spending 3 mana on it. It's a little expensive. Yes, you can pitch a card, but oftentimes that's not really too worth it. But yeah, I'm still test playing it. If I really do like it, I might do the same thing. I might do a 3-3 split, which would be pretty good there. Um, he's doing dress down. I mean, I get it. I get dress down. Dress down's there to kill, probably namely the constructs. Maybe stop like a Titan or something like that that's entered the battle. That's gonna enter the battlefield. Or to stall it down. But for me, I'd rather just play a fourth snap over the dress down. Um, you get more ability to be more aggro with it, more leisure to just kind of willy-nilly play a Snapcaster whenever you feel like. So I guess I prefer snap over like a dress down there. Yep, and then just four counter spells, nothing unusual there. Four Archmage, pretty good there. Now three Time Raveler. Um, looking at his four mana spells, I'd say he's okay to drop like a Fact or Fiction for another Time Raveler. Maybe a Deluge for another Time Raveler. Um, I don't know. I think Time Raveler it's really good for a three mana card. Like um, removing your opponent's ability to interact has always been good. Yes, it's a little slow, but you know, Facts of Fiction is already slow. You're spending four mana to draw and untap and not draw to split uh your draw pile and stuff. And same thing with Memory Deluge. For me, both of these are really slow to cast just to draw two cards. I'd rather just cast a Teferi and a -1 just to draw one card. Yes, these cards let you dig a little bit deeper, but I don't know. For an extra mana, I might as well play another Teferi and just hamper my opponent's ability to interact with me. So that's just my thought process, and it also can act as a problem solver too. But that's just me. But granted, he's made a choice here that's interesting. He's adding in the Wandering Emperor, and that's something I thought about too, but I just didn't think I needed the Wandering Emperor. She works probably pretty well with Snapcaster, honestly. If someone attacks, you can block with Snapcaster, and you can make it Snapcaster get first strike and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Or you let them attack, they go tap, and then you cast Wandering Ember, and you exile it. So yeah, that's something I thought about too. Yeah, I haven't got around to testing the Wandering Emperor yet. On top of that, she's double white. My deck being three mana is a little more stingy on the color, so I don't think I'd be able to play her that easily. Like triple Archmage Charm because I built my mana base so it has enough blue to support it. Um, yeah, I'm not too worried about not being able to cast Archmage Charms most of the time. There are a few times where I just can't cast it, but that happens. Um, yeah, the rest of the deck looks pretty good. Yeah, he's playing two verdicts. I'm playing two dams. Very similar ratios there. Um, not much to say about that. And then here, yeah, we're all both playing two Teferis, and he's playing three Solitudes. I'm playing two Solitudes. Um, same reason is because I don't always have a white card to pitch for Solitude. And because I'm a three-color deck, so um, I think I like sitting on just two Solitudes and then being able to hardcast them when I can. There are a few times I will invoke them, but yeah. So yeah, that's the deck. So yeah, it looks pretty like interesting, pretty similar. Like just we have similar ideas about the ratio, similar ideas about the cards we're playing. And the card I was talking about that's make a comeback is Snapcaster. So as you can see here, he's not playing um not Lantern, sorry. He's not playing Chalice of the Void. So Chalice of the Void I think isn't as good as it used to be. It's definitely a lot, especially with Loris out of the meta and stuff like that. I don't think Chalice is really worth maybe sideboarding Chalice is good, but other than that, it's like I don't think mainboarding Chalice is gonna be that great anymore. And I'd rather just do this. I'd rather opt plus Snapcaster. And you have all these other stuff too that you want to be able to cast as a one mana removal in case you need to. So Chalice, yeah, Chalice is I would. I mean, I never liked Chalice to begin with, so I think Snapcaster plus like maybe an op and stuff is a good way to give this deck more value uh over time and flexibility. Being able to recast your counter spell and recast your Archmage Charm with Snapcaster is just pretty good. Um, so that's the main way I think Azorius is going to be moving towards in this current meta is just to drop the chalice and then start adding back snapcasters and stuff like that for more of a value, long, uh, more of a long sort of longer game style to kind of play longer, in terms for like fighting for value and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how I kind of see it. Um, and then let's look at this, sorry, side deck here. So yeah, I spoke about this Veil. Pretty self-explanatory there. You want to play it against every blue or black deck. Dovin's video, I thought about actually adding a third dam to my side deck, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. But yeah, Supreme Verdict's pretty good. Good against Murktide decks. Good against Living Death, Living End decks and stuff like that. You just want to clear the board. Yeah, we're we're both playing two vetoes here. He's playing the Emrakul for Mill. At least I think so. Is this the right one? Either this is the other one I think. This is the no, this is the right one. Yeah, this is the Emrakul that shuffles herself back. This is just namely for Mill because Control have a real shit time against Mill. So because we have no way to kind of close out the game or apply pressure. And the Mill just kind of sits there. Mills are decks with like Arcane Trap and stuff like that. It's just a miserable time against Mill. I opt to just try to play out counterspell them or something like that, but that doesn't always happen. Then here, yeah, Relic of Progenesis is their choice of Graveyard Hate. For me, since I'm playing black, I'm using Kai's Guile, which I think is better. I don't like just playing Relic and then just um not really letting it sit there the entire time just to exile one card or two cards, stuff like that. Um, it's not a bad card by any means. It allows him to keep in Snapcaster. I think Kaya or Rest in Peace is better than Relic. Um, you know, I don't know. I just whenever time I played Relic, I just didn't like it. So um, I'd play this if I had no other options. But because I'm playing black and I have options for other graveyard removal, um, I play that over the Relic here. Even though Relic is cheap, it's technically 2 mana to exile the graveyard. Just so, um, I guess you could play Soul Lantern. But at least Relic draws you a card, so there's that. So, up to you on how you if you prefer this or not. The rest of the side deck here is Spell Pierce, pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna dress down to probably hit more artifact constructs. But because you're playing Wardly March and you're playing Snapcaster, you should have a pretty good matchup against Urza Saga's decks. Because you just play it for 1 mana, get rid of the Saga, or you snap back and then you outworld like and they have like just no way to get back the Saga, which is I don't think you need to dress down as much. I mean it's still handy in other matchups anyways. But yeah, I think if he's playing dress down for just for the Urza Sagas, I don't think that's not too worth it, I guess, in my opinion. Stony Science I don't think I like either. I mean it's it's artifact hate, but I'd rather just blow up their artifacts rather than just try to stun them with it. Like I'd rather play like a fracturing gust, like what I'm playing, or just straight removal rather than just sitting there on Stony Silence. So I mean, I personally haven't cared for Stony Silence. Now here's another side card that was pretty interesting. It's Summary Dismissal. So Summary Dismissal is pretty good against decks like Titan or you know big stuff like Emrakul or well not Emrakul, sorry, Ulamog. So it's good against Tron, good against Titan. But at 4 mana, I don't know if it's good enough. Honestly, it's kind of expensive. Um, for me, I'd rather play Aether Gus. I think Aether Gus is way more flexible and it's cheaper to use. And it hits Titan. If you're coming across a Ulamog that's coming in, I'd rather play Subtlety. Subtlety is still the same thing, same idea. Yes, this gets rid of it permanently, but Subtlety is like, yeah, it's still pretty good. Like you force him to spend another turn recasting it, or you delay him for a turn. Hopefully that gives you enough time to, beat them down and stuff like that. So, I mean, I prefer Aether Gust or Subtlety over Summary Dismissal, but it is an option. I thought, and it's not the worst thing if they hit the board. You can always remove it with like a Solitude, or you can remove it with like another Teferi or something like that. You probably can't remove anything big with Prismatic or Outwhirly, but that's fine. I think Subtlety and Aether Gust is better. But yeah, I think that's really it. I mean, the deck looks pretty solid. And it looks like it did win a challenge. But if I had to change up the deck a little bit, I'd probably just play another Snapcaster and another Teferi here. Um, and take out for me. I don't like Factor Fiction, and I don't really like my Memory Delusion much. So I'll probably take them out for something else. Maybe Cryptic Command even. Um, so like I'll probably just play that. Yeah, just change like two cards honestly. Probably do like a fourth to third, sorry, fourth Teferi, a maybe a Cryptic Command, and maybe a fourth Snapcaster. So that's what I would probably change about the deck. Everything else looks good, in terms of blue white. Yeah, mana source looks good too. Um, Nothing really to see here that's different. But yeah, yeah, I guess in the side deck, I probably switch these out. Probably switch out the dismissals and the dress down. I don't think you really need that, and maybe the Stolney too. Um, I would probably keep the Dam in, the Verdict in, the DeVitos are good. Yeah, Relic is just good if you have no other options to um play Graveyard Hate. I would probably do Rest in Peace and maybe or Soul Lantern. I guess it's between three, Rest in Peace, Lantern, or Relic. Um, but yeah, I think that's really it. I think that's this. I love the deck. If I were to play blue white, my deck would look something like this too, honestly. But right now I'm still gonna stick with Esper, and hopefully with the new stuff from the new set, Esper's gonna get a couple of new toys to play with, and that'll be kind of cool to see. But yeah, not much else. I just wanted to make the video just to kind of talk about a different approach to building the deck, and I thought this is just a really good example of converting my deck over to Azorius. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Um, see you guys next time.